This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Before taking any action based on the information provided on this channel, it is recommended that you seek the advice of a professional licensed financial advisor.
Let's do this.
All right, welcome back, guys. It is technical analysis quickly time, and I'm going to dive right into the charts. All right, here we go. We got Bitcoin on the daily, and it looks like, during the meltdown, we came down, tested the bottom of this giant wedge we've been in since June 18th. And then we've gone up for the last 2 days, and then today we are a red candle right now where we came down and retested this line, but we have not broken it. So the question becomes, did we bounce off of it hard enough to gain enough momentum to come up? Or are we going to come down, retest it again, retest it, and then break through? Something to that effect. Are we going up or are we going down? Isn't that the question we have every day? Pretty much. We can jump to the RSI to see if we can get some answers here. This is where we started back on June 18th. Whoa, what did I just lose? All right, there we go. Back here was June 18th, then we came up, hit our second hit, came down, hit our third hit, I think. I should probably actually fix that line. Okay, there we go, there's our third hit. Then we came up, miss, fourth hit, and then we did our, took forever, breakdown. Because this took so long, I actually drew this second line here, the yellow wedge, to see what was really going on. So we had our first hit, second hit, that was nothing, third hit, breakout. And now we're hanging out down here. This, I can't draw a wedge on yet. So this is our first hit. Presumably this is our second hit, but I don't think this is going to constitute as a hit here. Because if we go into drawing, coming off the top of this, I can't, if that's 1 and then this is 2, I can't get a 3 because of the angle of this. So if I just try to move this in, I cross over that purple line up here. So I don't really have something. Maybe if I try to take it right there, we could be in something this steep, in which case we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was our breakout. So now we might actually be starting a new wedge, which might, I guess would be looking something like this. That's the first hit. We change the color. And then we have our second hit. We might be doing something like this for a minute before we break down. I'm not sure. So the RSI doesn't give us any new information. So now I've switched to the 4-hour chart with the Fibonacci lines in, as well as the Ichimoku cloud and the Bollinger Bands, which is this white smoke-looking thing. And we can see now that it's just gotten narrow here as these are coming in like this. And this is usually what takes place before a big move. Like back here on June 18th, these were super wide here. So there's a lot of space in here. And then it starts to narrow out and get tighter and tighter and tighter. And right here, when it's only this far apart, it does this massive move down. And that's what we're looking to happen now. And then if we jump up the 5-hour, we can see that this is starting to get closer. You can even see that the Kijin has come down like this to get closer to the Tenkin. So these are getting closer together, which usually means a big move is going to happen. Then you're getting the Bollinger Bands coming closer together, which generally means a bigger move is going to happen. So we've probably got another 30 hours or so before we could be seeing something. It's potentially this blue Fibonacci ring that is going to cause it to just drop down, maybe even to be caught by this one, or past that and then caught by the other side of the same ring. So we could be looking at something there. This is also a Fibonacci line, so maybe it does something where it comes over, hits that line, breaks finally this yellow wedge, comes down, hits that, rides that up a bit, comes down, hits that, because this is double resistance with the blue ring and the red Fibonacci line. So then we might get a little up here before it comes down and starts right, maybe even this down here. But we've got all these forms of support that it's probably going to catch like ladder rungs on the way down. But the question is there anything that's actually telling us what we can see? What to expect from what we can actually see. And as of right now, not really. The fact that this is coming down towards the Tenkin is a more bearish sign. As they get closer together, another move is going to make. So another move is going to be made. But you're going to have to make the decision. Do you think it's going to go up or do you think it's going to go down? I think it's just a matter of time till we break this yellow line. And obviously anything is only ever a matter of time, but I mean more imminent than that. We've got the red Fibonacci resistance line that this has been trying to break through now for these are 5-hour candles, like quite a long time, in 3 days. And it just got rejected down to the yellow line again, like it did back here. And I guess it began there. So now, is it going to go up and make another attempt? Probably get rejected, come down here and break out. So if we zoom into like the 15, 30-minute, 1-hour charts to see what wedges are being formed, that might give us the answer. Okay, this is the 30-minute chart. You can see here, as we left this red wedge, we came down like this, up, final hit on the red, so then we started an orange wedge. Then we came down, this is our second hit, third hit, fourth hit, and now we're making our way up our new red wedge. So this is our second hit, third hit, fourth hit, and chances are we're going to come down and do a breakdown and come down and challenge this line again. Now we don't know that yet because it's always possible that this is not done going up. If this comes up to here, then we would just move our top line to the wedge higher. So then we would have something like first hit, second hit, third hit, and then this becomes our fourth hit. Then we break down and out. But either way, it looks like, because there's just not enough push here going up, you've got the Kijun line going straight while the Tenkin is going up, and this is creating that mouth that calls the candles back down into it, right? So this is only the 30-minute chart, so the Kijun and the Tenkin can't be taken too seriously because they can change pretty quickly. You get one big move here like this to the upside, and that's going to pull the Kijun up, and then next thing you know, the Kijun and the Tenkin are standing up by each other, and we're on a bullish run. So on the 30-minute, it's not wholly reliable, but what it is showing us, despite reliability, that it's about to call this candle back down to the Kijun, and we're going to start our way breaking down out of the red, ascending wedge, and probably making another attempt at breaking out of this yellow wedge that began on June 18th. If we jump to the 1-hour chart, you're seeing this familiar move where the Tenkin gets swooped up into the Kijun, which usually brings the candles into the Kijun, but the candle is already way past the Kijun now. So let's see what the 2-hour looks like. 2-hour has just started bearish because you've just had the Tenkin cross down below the Kijun, and the Kijun is holding straight. So as this comes down like this and forms a mouth, if the Kijun holds straight, it calls the candles down into the mouth. So again, a bear sign. While the 2-hour just flipped bearish, the 3-hour just flipped bullish. So we've got the green that's holding straight while the red has come down below. But if this continues to go down like this, while this continues to come across, it still forms a mouth, and we still call the candles down into the mouth. So I think no matter how you cut the cookie, at least all the way up to the 3-hour chart, whether the Tenkin's above the Kijun or the Kijun's above the Tenkin, we have immediate short-term bearish news here. And now we're back to the 4-hour. Kijun here, Tenkin here, both going straight and have been for a few candles now. So it's just more consolidation. If we have like a 0.5% or 1% move down here, that's not exactly what I would say is outside of just consolidation. So we might be just doing something like this until we get over to the other side of this yellow wedge. And to zoom out and show you what this yellow wedge is, this is the 10-hour chart, and the yellow wedge started here, came down, hit here, then came across and hit here. I've got to adjust that. Anytime you switch from 4-hour to 10-hour to daily, these lines move a little bit. Then it came down here, hit the fourth, and now we're working our way across to break out of this side of the descending wedge. Now, a downward broadening wedge like this yellow one is, these break up. But up is, a loaded word here. I mean, it doesn't have to go like this. It doesn't have to go like this. It can just like literally come out this side and flop over. The point is it's not going to break out of this line. So I think we're going to be potentially traveling across and breaking out, or another option is this could just break down like this some more and then break out over here. Because again, at some point soon, I think we're going to be breaking this much bigger yellow wedge that started on June 18th. So again, short, immediate term here, we're looking at bearish. You start getting up into like the 20 hour, this familiar shape looks like we've formed a mouth and that the candles could potentially get called up into here. And I'm not saying that's not possible, but if you keep in mind that each one of these candles is 10 hours, I mean, that's over like the next 4 days. And, well, actually, no, not 10 hours, 20 hours. My bad, I'm on the 20-hour chart. So this is, a week. So while we might get some downturn here, break out here, maybe challenge this line again, we could then bounce back up and do exactly what it says. But if we keep coming down here, that's going to have an effect on the math that the Kijun and the Tenkin are comprised of. So then we might be looking at something where the Kijun starts coming down like this and the Tenkin holds strong, and now they're together again. This just sort of went across and straight over. And now that these are together, this is where we have the move happen. Now, we also show that we're in this giant Bollinger Band. It's probably doing something like this. And then it's going to form the thinner tunnel. So we might be kind of just bouncing around in here like this until we kind of come up there before we then, well, we're going to meet resistance here at this Fibonacci line, and then maybe that rejects down to here and so on, and we finally break out of this yellow wedge. So I'm not sure when we're getting up into this area, but it's probably going to be something like that. But as far as what's going on right now, I think we're going to see some bearish short-term activity, and we're going to make another attempt at crossing this yellow line. Whether or not it plays out is yet to be seen. As far as the more macro is concerned, this is the 11-day chart. You can see that the Kijun is coming down to meet the Tenkin, and it's going to try and reduce the size we have here between the spaces. And it looks like those are probably pretty similar, so it's kind of more just staying the course. But as this continues to come down, if this continues to go straight, this space here becomes lesser and less between the two, and then we're looking about getting more into another move. So, maybe middle of next month we might have another massive breakdown. I'm not sure. I tend to think it's going to pull these down quickly when this drops out of this wedge. And then I think we're going to have another, like a challenge down here to the $10,000 mark. And then we're going to start to work our way back up. But nothing's changed here really to talk me out of that scenario. I mean, I jump up to the 12-day. The Kijun on the 12-day hasn't started to move down yet. So I guess that's a good sign. This is just staying strong, going straight out. This is kind of looking like it's doing the swoop. So if we get a candle in here, maybe it could start to bring the swoop back up for those bulls out there that think we already hit bottom at the 17,000. I'm not one of them, but it's possible. If we continue, look at the 24-day. I just got some random days in here just to see if there's anything I'm missing. This is the Tenkin is swooping. It's created a mouth, but there's just not enough to pull it back up in there yet. 33-day, weekly, 2-week. These are just kind of more of the same, just big mouths, but nothing's called them up. When we get out to the 5-week, you can see that from the giant bull run here, the Tenkin is now getting to a point where it's going to cross down below the Kijun. And I think this is probably going to take place after this next drop down to the 10,000. And then this will create a swooping arm, and that will be the arm that catches it up in. It's not just on the 5-week though. You can see the 6-week. These are getting closer, but this hasn't started. The Tenkin hasn't started its descent below the Kijun. On the 7-week, similar. 10-week, monthly. Okay, see, on the monthly, which obviously is 4.3 weeks, and we were just on the 5-week. So the monthly and the 5-week are very similar. You're getting these things crossing. So on the monthly, as this starts to come down, and this does its breakdown to 10K, this swoop will then catch this and pull it up into the mouth as the the Kijun is probably doing something like this, and this being the mouth, this is what we'll call it up from the 10K area. So I think when we start getting down around 10K, possibly even as low as 7K, it depends, this is when you're going to get that pull in. That's my prediction, but that's all I've got for you today, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments and like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and you'll see my other socials down below. Good luck out there, and let's make some money.